welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited as this is my very first video of 2020. How unbelievable. I still can't realize we're in the year 2020. When I was young, that was like so super futuristic. We thought there'd be flying cars and like robots everywhere. And now here we are. So, okay, let's make the most of it. In this video, I want to talk about paper. So if you're keen to start a proper budget with me this year, then stay tuned for the Okay guys, I know that one of the major resolutions for everybody any year is to be more financial savvy, to lose weight, to do this, yada yada yada. And the list is generic. Okay, we all know that. But this year, let it be the actual year that you start doing an actual proper budget. And let's not aim for the freaking Jupiter, because when you begin anything, you know, it's a process. You need to get the hang of it. Let's have a little but yet achievable budget, and then we can build on it as the months go by, and until hopefully the end of the year, we could be really proud of what we've achieved. So I have compiled 3 major tips that will help all of us, because I'm including myself and I want to get this right this year, to achieve a successful budgeting year. I have with me here an abundance diary. Okay. This is just a diary where, oh, and it's an old one by the way, because I never used it any of the other years. I have a few things here and there, but I'm starting afresh. I'm gonna use it this time and it's gonna work. What I really love about this is that it has like daily inspirations. So on the first page you write your details if you're gonna lose it, but I'm not gonna write anything because it's not leaving the house. This will stay in my room. So it won't get lost. And then it has monthly inspos. Like January is to dream abundantly, and like September is your beliefs, and December it's a reflection and acknowledgements. So guys, the most important thing with a budget is that you need to have one, because you need to have a target to know where you're going and to focus and zoom in on it. Number 2, you need to know where you usually go wrong. So those are your like triggers or your danger or risk zones. And 3 is you need to streamline all your money shenanigans. You need to, wait, I wrote this down. Number 3 is you need to clean up your routine, girl. So those are my top 3 tips, and I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on them. So, number 1 is set a goal. I mean, we always say, I want to save, but what does that actually mean? Do you want to save 100 rands, 1,000 rands, 10,000 rands, 1,000,000 rands? Like, what is your actual goal? Set a goal, a realistic goal. It could be per month towards a final end goal, but it's nice to have a big goal and then chop it up in a monthly and then even weekly targets, so that you know you're on track, and as soon as something goes south, you could quickly balance it out and readjust. So I want to say that by the end of this year, so at the end of December 2020, I want to have 10,000 rands saved in my account. And when I say saved, it's quote unquote saved. I actually mean invested, because money that sits in a bank account and gets no interest is depreciating, and that money is not doing anything for you. So always invest in an actual savings investment account as much as possible, and have little cash flow, you know, money just hanging around doing nothing really, because it's getting you broker. So I have a 10,000 goal at the end of the year. How do I achieve that? Obviously, logical is divided by 12 so that you have a goal per month. And this is assuming you have a monthly salary, so that you could take from that and then automate it into a savings account and say, well, it's gonna be a little under $1,000 every month, and that's gonna go straight into my savings investment account. But if you're like me and you don't get a monthly salary, maybe it's weekly, then that makes things a little harder because you can't really take out an amount every week because your plans and your budget changes weekly, right? So my first week's pay or income goes to rent. So my rent is paid with my first week's income. Then the other 3 or 4 weeks, then I have the second week is dedicated to something else, and then the third week to something else. And so it's hard to do a weekly budget in that sense. But nevertheless, you can still allocate percentages, and that's where I'm really going with this, is to stop looking at numbers per se, but have a fixed percentage that you want to allocate to all of your income, any of it, regardless of if it comes daily, weekly, or monthly. Then you know for sure it's fixed and it's done. So, example, if you earn 10,000 Rand a month and you want to say that 50% is going to go towards your household, so that's your rent, your electricity, your water, your internet, Wi-Fi, cell phone bills, whatever, then you allocate 50% and not like say a specific amount of 5,200 to your rent, your bill, and whatever. Then you know whether your salary comes half way through the month, then you know whatever you get, it's still 15% of that. You know what I mean? So whether you get 5,000 and then 5,000, you're still gonna allocate 50%. So it's gonna be 2.5 plus 2.5, for example. So allocate percentages and not fixed amounts, so that no matter how much your wages fluctuate, the percentage are always fixed. So I will allocate for my household living 35%, just because I really want to be strict. So 35% means that's my rent paid, my water, my electricity, and my bills. I don't have a cell phone bill, so it's just my internet, my Wi-Fi. Insurance is also prepaid. I do an annual payment. And what else? Yeah, stuff that usually, like, I try as much as possible to bundle up everything that has to come off monthly into like a one annual pay, so that I don't have to worry about it the rest of the year. So like membership fees and insurances and like all these kinds of little things, like they'll take 300 here and 150 there and 400 here. Like I just pay the whole lot at once and I'm done. So annually, I usually try and do that so that each month it's like not as much that comes off. Okay. So I said 35 to 40% for household, and that is needs. You cannot live without a roof, without water, without electricity, without food, and without like your medical aid stuff and bills. So the separation of your income is to allocate per percentages. So some people say do a 50, a 30, and a 20%. 50 being your absolute needs, 30% being your wants, and then 20% being your savings and investment. Depending on how frugal you want to be and how ruthless you want to, turn your money situation around, I would even go 50-50 and cut out all the entertainment, all the fun, all the shenanigans, and just have a little emergency pocket within your investment. So if you really have to go watch that movie at the cinema, then take it from the emergency fund. Or if you really have to order in Uber Eats because load shedding and you can't cook, oh my gosh, then that's an emergency. But don't let it be like a monthly thing where you plan for Uber Eats or like for, unnecessary things when you have food in your fridge. And be ruthless. Tell yourself you're blocking it out 12 months. You're going to be super strict with your money, and you already know the times or the special occasions that are coming. If it's birthdays, if it's Christmas, if it's Easter. So plan those out long in advance. Include them in your emergency fund and cut out all the other crap. You know, when you go on like a diet and they say cut the crap out, the sugar, the refined foods, the carbs, the sodas, do the same with your finances. Cut out the drive-thrus, the orders, the deliveries, cut out unnecessary Uber trips, taxis, whatever. You know, use public transport as much as possible and cut the crap out. Okay. Number 2 is to go back, have a look at what happened in the past so that you can better re-strategize for the future. Okay, so I have here my statements from previous months ago. And what I suggest you do is draw up like a 3 months previous statement and just go through all your transactions to actually realize and take a hold of your expenditures. Sometimes if you're like me, I'll just swipe for like a bottle of juice or water or chips or things, and like I have so many transactions, it's ridiculous. And each one, depending on what your bank account type is like, you'll have charges for like each and every little thing. So already here I can see that my major setbacks are bank charges from excessive swiping, because usually they'll give you like 6 free swipes a month, and then the rest is like whatever, 2 rand on top each time, or you know, things like that. And I don't particularly notice how many I swipe or how many I withdraw. And so then I have things like 50 rand bank charges and 100 rand bank charges, and that's a lot of money just disappearing for no good reason. So no, this needs to end. I have a highlighter here. I'm gonna go with the red and highlight all the unnecessary bank charges. Interest accounts. Oh my gosh, this is actually terrible. 19 rand charges. Wow. Charges. Okay. Like for example here, I've highlighted these 2 charges. You can see those 2. Not good at all. And so do that, go through and have like a really frank realization of what your money is wasting on, because now I know it's the way I swipe. And so how to fix that, I'm going to have a fixed amount that I need to withdraw each week. So that means I have 4 withdrawals a month, so 4 or 5 depending on how long the month is. But then it's going to limit me to 4 withdrawals a month, which is weekly. And then I know for that week I can only spend 500, or you know, whatever the allocation is, if it's for food, if it's for whatever, and sticking to the percentage. So if my allocation for food was 10%, then I know if I get however much money that week, 10% of that goes to food. You know, it just easily lets you identify what is supposed to go where. Steers, I swiped at Engine, I swiped at Shell, I swiped at Sorbet, I swiped at McDonald's. All that food that I don't need. So yeah. And again, let this go together with your what do you call it? Together, hand in hand with your diet, because a lot of us also have diet plans now. So you could say, in this week, what am I gonna eat? What do I need? You plan your list, do your grocery shopping, and then you can include, if you have like cheat days or cheat meals, include those in already so that it is part of your budget and it's not like an extra thing or like a cheating. So if you have one cheat meal a day, a week, let's say you choose for that to be a McDonald's drive-through, then you already include that portion into your budget so that it's not a surprise or like a mistake. And once you identify all the stuff from your statements that you should clean up, it leads me to step number 3, which is clean your routine. So what does that mean? It's pretty straightforward. You need to clean up your spending. Money in and money out. Let it be as clean as possible. Ideally, I would want a bank statement that only shows money in and then once a week the money out that I take out for that week, which means in a month I would have 4 ins because I get paid weekly, and then I would have 4 outs because I would do a weekly withdrawal from what I got paid. And then I would also have a pocket within that bank account of savings, which then would go to my investments. So within the allocated percentage, then I would do an investment pocket and have a debit order. Guys, automation is the key to all of this because you're not going to always remember, you're not going to always keep track of dates and times and all things like that. So you need to automate this. Have a debit order. If you know you're getting paid every Monday or every 1st or every 15th or every 30th, have a debit order for that day so that the money comes out and goes to where it needs to go without you even lusting over it, Let what's in your account strictly be the managerial aspect of the account. Oh, and this also brings me to my bonus point, which is streamline your account. If you're like me and if you're actually even wondering why do I have so much cash on? Besides the fact that this is part of my weekly / it's a little bit more than my weekly allowance, but I had to close one of my accounts today because I realized, there's bank charges with every account. And if an account is just sitting there charging you and not doing anything, cut it out. If you're like me and you had like 5 different accounts, honestly, I had a Standard Bank, I had an APSA, I had a Bidvest, I had a NetBank, I had a, not Capitec, what's the other one? FNB. And I was like, girl, 5 rents here, 10 rents there, all these account charges, no. I need to cut that crap. I closed 2 of my accounts. I left my investment one, the one that gives me a good percentage on investment, to which I made a debit order for every payment to come through, and then I have my 30% of that to go into my investment. I kept my main bank account where my payments come in, so all my various payments of all the stuff that I do come in, and that's the managing bank account, and then from there it goes to where everything needs to go. I never just have random money sitting in there, because why? It's losing value. It either needs to be invested or it needs to be my daily usage, or that's it. I can't have thousands of rands sitting in an account and then just losing value. So when they say investment / saving, I'm a bit weary of what that actually means, because don't ever let your money work against you. Let it work for you. So if you're not going to need it, if it's not a cash flow, then invest it. If you're going to need it, know about how much you need periodically, and then add a little contingency or like a cushion or an emergency cap to that, and then the rest stash it for an investment. So hope I made sense. I was kind of rambling and all over the place. Guys, I'm feeling super excited about this because this has been one of my personal problems. So me filming this and then having it to refer to and to always come back and like remind myself is also really helpful for me. So I already know it's gonna help me when I look back on it, but I hope it helps you or somebody out there. And this is really for like young professionals, even still students. If you're in the payment gap where you can afford a private banker and like financial planner and all these kinds of things, so you don't really need this. But this is for us, the beginners who are starting off, kind of have no clue, didn't learn this at school, and really want to get our money situation together. And you'll be surprised at like how much little things, little changes make such huge differences. Eliminating single swiping items. Like, why am I swiping just for one thing? Did I not do my grocery shopping that week? Why am I swiping for water? Do I not have water in the house, or did I not pack my water bottle, or did I not pack some snacks? Or, you know, like, I've just being aware and making small changes makes a huge impact. Another really cool thing, which you would have seen on social media recently, there was a lady who broke her piggy bank of 5 rands and she got like 22,000 or something. That's another really good idea. Get yourself a piggy bank and weekly determine the amount you want to put in it. Some people just throw in all their loose coins and then at the end it's a surprise. That's also good, but if you really want to be focused, determine an amount and set it beforehand and tell yourself every week you have to put in 2 rands or 5 rands or 10 rands that you put away, and that'll be your surprise at the end of the year. So I think that's everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I think a lot of you aren't, to be honest. I have a lot of new viewers because I changed locations, but not a lot of new subscribers. So please join the family, subscribe, and like this video if it helped you. Comment below what your goals are for the year, and let's do this together. See you in my next video, guys.